I could listen to that all morning. Good morning, everybody. How are you today? I really hope you're okay. We're going to have today's assembly and tomorrow's online, like we have now, using the YouTube. And then we're hoping very, very much that things are improving in school. And after our half-term holiday, we'll be able to come back together, maybe in a slightly smaller group, but in the school hall and the atrium for our assemblies, which would be really good. So our song this morning reminded us that it's still that time of year. We're in the deepest months of the season of autumn, and we are still thinking about harvest and things that happen at this time of year. I'm happy to tell you that all of your cans and dried goods were collected from a lady with a very big car with a very big boot from the Calderdale Halifax Food Bank, and she took all of your cans down there and she's going to help to put them into the little food bank supermarket that they have down there, so that families will already, I think, have chosen those things and be using them to help to feed their families. So thank you everybody for thinking of other people. That's really, really good. I'll come back to this little fella in a minute, but just a couple of other things I wanted to share with you this morning. You might know that we have forest school in our school, and different year groups do forest school at different times of the year, and we're hoping to get even more afternoons when we can offer forest school to you all, because it's really good to learn outside. It's really good to learn new skills, to challenge ourselves, to learn how to work as a team, to learn about conservation and ecology and looking after the natural world. And currently we have our year 5 children who are doing their forest school. So we have a group of 15 children who go down there, and they're really, really working hard, not only on their practical skills of using various tools and how to keep a fire going and various things like that. They're also working on how to be a really good team, how to be respectful to each other, and how to keep safe. And I was very pleased with their session this week, and very pleased. I wanted to mention Izzy in particular, but there were others in the group too. They've been making plates, imagining that we actually were just living outside and camping all week. Izzy has managed to weave the flexible wood of the willow tree that surrounds our secret garden into a very sturdy and substantial, Izzy, plate. I have to say, you've done a really, really good job on that. I feel like I could eat my tea off that and it wouldn't fall through. The instructor, Jude, had one that he had made just to show how really substantial these plates can be. But Izzy, I think yours was one of the absolute best in terms of making that really, really substantial so that it could be used. So well done to Forest School this week, who came into our office today smelling of wood smoke because they'd had a fire all afternoon, and very, very keen to tell me what they'd been getting up to there. They'd also been using a saw to saw off some sections of log, and then using a brand, like a fire brand, I think Jude did this one for you, the adult down there, to add on a stamp. So they've done a super job. So well done, coming on well at Forest School. So other things that are happening round and about our school. Some of you have been waiting for this moment for a long time. You've been asking me, when are we going to harvest the pumpkins, Mrs. Scarterfield? Well, we've harvested them, or at least one of them here. We're going to have a look at whether we're going to harvest the other ones as well. So this pumpkin we have seen growing and growing and growing on its vine in our school garden for months. These seeds were planted in spring and they've been watered and looked after, and finally our pumpkins are ready to be harvested. What a beauty it is. It's really quite heavy, and I know that lots of you during the half-term holiday might be having some fun with pumpkins yourselves. Maybe you might be carving some pumpkins for Halloween, or even doing my favourite thing, which is to make pumpkin soup. Do you remember our story, Pumpkin Soup? It's one of my favourites. But I thought today, just for fun, maybe even tomorrow, we'll see how much we get through, we should have a pumpkin quiz to see how much you know about the pumpkin. Okay, so are you ready? What I'd suggest you do is I'll ask each question and I'll do a little pause. So you could actually pause the video, teachers, and ask the children for their answers and see how many you can get right. I've got 9 questions, so we might ask 5 today and then maybe 5 tomorrow. Here we 4 tomorrow. 5 and 4 makes 9, doesn't it? Okay. Question number 1. Is the pumpkin a fruit or a vegetable, and can you explain why? Well, the answer is it's officially a group of food types called gourds, actually, which include things like cucumbers, but it is a fruit, and we know it's a fruit and not a vegetable because if you have ever carved a pumpkin and you've taken the top off a pumpkin here, you will know that a pumpkin is full of what? Flesh and seeds. If I show you this book here, here's a pumpkin, or any other kind of squash as we call them, or a gourd, and they are filled inside with seeds, pumpkin seeds. Here we go, in the middle there, and you have to scoop all the seeds out before you can carve your pumpkin. I might ask you a question about the seeds a bit later on, actually. So yes, a pumpkin is a fruit. All fruits have seeds, and that's why we know that the pumpkin is a fruit. Okay, next question. Where in the world did pumpkins first start growing? Where do they originate from? I know we have them in this country now, but where did they originate from? Have a think. The answer is North America. In Britain, going right back in time to historical times, the Saxons used to use things like turnips and sweets to carve into around about Halloween to kind of ward off evil spirits. But then pumpkins were brought over from America, and these are much bigger, much easier to carve, so this has become the fruit of choice to carve at Halloween. Question number 3. What does the word pumpkin, it's a great word, isn't it? Pumpkin, what does the word pumpkin mean? I bet nobody knows this, but you've said it so many times. Oh, it's a pumpkin. Do we know what it means? Okay, I'm going to tell you. The word pumpkin comes from a Greek word meaning large melon. Because I suppose, well, actually, a melon is part of the gourd family as well. It does look a bit like a large melon, doesn't it? Pumpkin. I love that word, pumpkin. Okay, question number 4, and then we'll leave the rest for tomorrow. This is a really easy one. Which celebration in October uses pumpkins as lanterns? That's right, it's Halloween, isn't it? And that's why the gourd family, all types of squashes, a type of a fruit, but also a gourd as well, are used as lanterns because you can hollow them out and they've got quite a thick and tough skin, which then remains that you can make things out of and you can carve into, like we often do at Halloween with our pumpkins. So there you go. So we've answered 4 questions. Did you get 4 out of 4 right? I bet you didn't. I bet you didn't know what pumpkin meant. Large melon in Greek. And tomorrow I'll ask you the remainder and I'll see if I can find a nice pumpkin poem as well. So have a lovely day. I hope it's not too wet today. It's been very wet and rainy today, but hopefully when you're out there playing, you'll keep nice and dry. So have a good day, everybody. Do some really super learning, and I'll see you round and about. But bye for now. Bye-bye.